I'm getting goosebumps already. Damn it, the music hasn't even started yet. Skål everybody, and welcome back to one of my favorite days in the week, Sabaton Wednesday. So you guessed it, you clicked the thumbnail, so you know what I'm reacting to. I'm reacting to Night Witches by Sabaton, the animated video, the story video to be fair, because hey, I like a little background, especially when it concerns Sabaton, as Sabaton sings about, in my opinion, really important historic events that might otherwise be forgotten. And this is one of them. I know that Joachim likes this song a lot. Like, a lot. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to find out more about it, so I did look it up a little bit. So I know it's about the 588th all-female night bombing division, which was called Nachthexen by the Germans, which is translated to Night Witches. These were very brave women, to be fair, because they flew basically in a wooden shoebox lined with a fabric, and they would switch off their engines and just glide into enemy territory with a 300-pound bomb attached to their wings. I'm not sure. And they would drop them. But the first flyers that came gliding in would drop flares to illuminate the ground, so they knew where to drop the bombs. Issue is that the bombs weren't enough to do a lot of damage. They were basically harassing the Germans. So they would like wear down, not get sleep and anything. But the planes themselves would be susceptible to even like handgun damage because they were that light and fragile. So these women were really, really brave. Like, even if they get shot down, they were supposed to be fighting to the death. Like, they were not supposed to come back alive. Even if they did manage to find their way back home, right? They would most likely still get executed. Simply, I don't know. It was, I don't know. Let's just do this.
The Germans are resting behind the lines of the Eastern Front, their tents in neat rows. All is in order in the quiet and still of the night. It's cold, and the winter snow crunches under the jackboot of a guard. Looking up into the sky, the snow starts to drift down. It's peaceful here. Was that a noise from the sky?
Very cold!
No, it's just the wind. Suddenly, piercing the still of the night, there's an otherworldly scream, and a whoosh as a dark form speeds by. And was that?
That's when you know you're fucked.
A woman's laughter in the distance? There are no engine sounds, and the suddenly fearful German soldier loses his footing and whispers under his breath, Die Nachthexen. The world is all at once a bloom of fire and ash, and two more dark forms pass without a sound. Hearing the whooping and celebration of these supernatural creatures, the guard shakes himself from his fear and calls out, Die Nachthexen! Die Nachthexen! The Night Witches!
I'm getting goosebumps already! Damn it, the music hasn't even started yet! That little music in the background, like that almost demonic... If you have seen Damien the Omen, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That almost demon-like choir, the horror movie sound, I don't know, dude. I already have the goosebumps. Can you imagine that? Being that German? Like, you hear nothing, and all of a sudden you hear that evil laugh in the background, and then a bomb dropping on your fucking face. Fuck yeah.
Sky above, three planes of the soon-to-be famous 588th Night Bomber Regiment. Their engines now running,
nice.
Turn east for home. Time to rearm and refuel for another mission. Coming into land, they're greeted by their commissar, Yevdokia Rashkevich. The young girls that form the pilots and navigators are between the ages of 17 and 26. They are desperate to take the fight to the Germans and have traveled from all over Russia to join the all-women regiments. The 588th is where the least skilled of all the women are placed, but that didn't stop them from carving their name in history. In the early days, they were largely ridiculed by the Soviet men. Given men's uniforms that were too big and shoes all of the same size, the women did the best they could with the clothes, making them fit with belts or filling the large men's shoes with stuffing. The equipment they were given was woefully out of date. The Polikarpov PO2 was a two-man trainer, underpowered and made of cloth and wood. These old string bags were nicknamed crop dusters, or even worse, sewing machines due to the noise their tiny engines made. But the women of the 588th ignored the taunts, and despite the odds, turned the plane's shortcomings to their advantage. The planes at maximum speeds were far below the stall speeds of any of the German fighters. Giving them a tight turning circle, they were almost impossible to hit. They were susceptible to small arms fire and anti-aircraft guns, so their strategy was to attack in threes, with a navigator in each plane. At her signal, the pilot would cut the engines and swoop in slowly, silently, dropping their bombs, dealing death from above. Unexpected, undetected, stealth perfected. If necessary, the other two would draw fire from the fighters or from the ground. They slept during the day and rose at dusk to take their vengeance on the invaders. This unnatural bravery and their stealth tactics earned them their title, the Night Witches.
Can you imagine how proud these women must have felt? Wow. They must have felt an enormous sense of pride. Like, overcoming, like, what is a male-dominated industry? Like, you can tell from the clothing that they would get, right? Like, they with boots all too big, clothing all too big, and they made do. Nothing but respect. Nothing but respect.
Tactics earned them their title, the Night Witches.
Nachthexen.
The German ace Johannes Steinhoff said, "We simply couldn't grasp that the Soviet airmen that caused us the greatest trouble were in fact women. These women feared nothing."
Awesome. Get to the bunkers!
From the depths of Ellis Island, the spells, explosive violence, Russian nighttime flight, perfect, flawless mission, undetected. Pushing on and on the plains and
Hey, Joachim!
number one. Some were down below, they're looking for the foe. Others all around. You can hide, you can move, just a fight that attacks been bruised. In the dark, silent through the night, the witches on the fight. Never miss the mark.
Off.
Canvas, wings of death, prepare to meet your fate. Night Bomber Regiment 588. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, tell the story. Deviation, deviation, undetected, still perfected. Force on losing ground, retreat into the sound. Death is in the air. Suddenly appears, confirming all your fears. Strength from witches there. Target bound from around, battle sound from the battleground. Ashes aiming high. Bloody now waits, defeat them at the gates. Live to fight and die.
Just a quick little thing. It's something that I got from watching the history, their history channel. I tried to prepare a little bit, so I watched it without any sound, so I wouldn't get spoiled. But from what I heard, they only had like minutes sometimes. Just pop new bombs, back into it again. So they did dozens of flights. Well, not maybe every night, but they did so many flights a night sometimes. You can only have respect. These are hardworking women. Protecting. Fighting. It's beyond me what they must have endured.
Bloody now waits, defeat them at the gates. Live to fight and die. Canvas, wings
Oh, here we go again.
prepare to meet your fate. Night Bomber Regiment
Throwing it out?
588. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, tell the story. Deviation, deviation, undetected, still perfected.
Oh, Tommy! They would burn up, quite literally.
Beneath the starlight of the heavens, unlikely heroes in the skies, as they appear on the horizon, the wind will whisper when the night witches come.
Yeah, there you go. That's the other thing I got from the History Channel. It's like, because of the fabric and because of the... They're basically a wooden crate that's flying. Like, when they were on fire, they would literally burn up. Because it was very, very flammable. That must have been something, dude. Like, going up against everything that is bad and everything that is better than you, and still manage to do what they did. As I said, nothing but respect. Oh, hell yeah!
Wings of glory, tell the story. Aviation, deviation, undetected, still perfected. From the depths of Ellis Islands, faster smells, explosive violence. Russian nighttime flight, perfected. Flawless mission, undetected.
Oh, look at that moon.
32 women, both pilots and navigators, never came home. The 588th became highly decorated and respected, flying more than 23,000 sorties, dropping over 3,000 tons of bombs. 23 night witches were awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union, although they were disbanded just 6 months after the war, and not allowed to fly in the victory parade, given their planes were so slow. From 1956, after she retired from active service, their commissar Yevdokia Rachkevich took it upon herself to find the site of every single one of her girls that was downed, to mark the place and to pay her respects to each one of the incredibly brave night witches.
Well done. Oh, I love that. And again. Yep, thank you for that. Why you keep doing that to me? I love that SABATON was just standing behind her, just as she was looking for basically the graves of the women that never came home. Wow. I'm not gonna make my point again. You know my point about SABATON telling history. Yep, they do just that. I have nothing to add, except that I really enjoyed it. Yet again. I'm gonna tell you a whole long story today. It was good. I felt the tears come up. I had goosebumps in the very beginning, and this is another one of those stories that should be told and should never be forgotten. The fact that they didn't get to fly in the victory parade because they were too slow, that is utter bullshit. That is utter bullshit. If they were that important and you recognize that they were that important, then you give them a fucking place in the parade. That's it. If you liked it, then by all means, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and get notified for the next video in my journey. Suggest more of this because this was absolutely awesome. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. As always, only one more thing to say. Viking out. Peace.